brand new bike. It's a 26-inch cruiser. Got the big tires, metal fenders, little basket here. Got a cup holder, cell phone holder. Oh, got a little reflector on there. It says it is a, let me see if I can get that out here. It is a Nel Russo 26-inch Huffy. Okay. Got a nice comfy seat on it. It's got coil springs under it. Got a quick latch. Got a little luggage, book carrier, beer cooler carrier or something there. It single speed with a coaster brake. Comes with a kickstand. Metal fender on the back, reflectors. No lights. It's going to be a birthday present for my son-in-law. Okay? Bought it from a big box, and they did a decent job putting it together, but I've had a few experiences that tell me that it's probably good to go through it, make sure it's put together right. I can see a few things. The fenders are not aligned on the tires. They're closer to this side than they are to this side. The seat is not straight down the body tube. Goes off this way. Handlebars are pretty close to straight, but I think I want to tilt them down just a little bit. They're just a little bit above plumb, and they're really easier to handle, more ergonomic if you get them just a little bit below. I want to check those tires, make sure they got enough air in them. Check the connections on the tires, make sure they're right. Put a little lube on the chain, and this front valve stem here is crooked. Needs to be moved back to the center because that will cut through if it ever gets low. So I'll set you up here, and you can watch while I do a little adjusting on it. Well, I think I'll start with the front and take that wheel off. And we'll let the air out of it and see if we can rotate that valve stem. While I'm working on this, how about if we talk about another time I worked on a bicycle? I think I've mentioned to you before about Neighbor Donnie. Neighbor Donnie lived across the alleyway from me years ago when our kids were small. Neighbor Donnie was what I referred to as the best housewife on the block. Now, he was a gentle soul. One thing about it was, though, that he wasn't real good with any tool that didn't belong in the kitchen. He had very few of them himself. So, kind of became my mission to take him under my wing and show him how to fix things. But at any rate, we used to live in a little house, had a sidewalk out front. We parked alongside that sidewalk and right at the curb there, and we step over that sidewalk right into a set of 2 steps that went right up into my front sidewalk, going right up to the house. Okay. One day I came home and there was a bicycle laying right across that. A couple rails came up the sidewalk like that, and the bicycle was right there. Well, I should say that part of the bicycle was there. Why didn't I remove it? Just walk right on up the sidewalk? Well, tell you the truth, it was in pieces. As I was saying, I came home and that bicycle was blocking that sidewalk right there. And so I decided to just step up on the wall, beside the steps, and go on into the house. I don't have a valve stem tool. There may be one here, but I don't know where it is, so I'll just make do with what I got. But at any rate, I stepped up over that wall, walked up there, walked inside. My wife was in the kitchen in there working on fixing some dinner. And I asked her, I said, "What's up with the bicycle out front?" She said, "Donnie." That's all I really needed to hear. I didn't ask any more questions. I kind of figured it was a project that Donnie was needing some help on. That's what I figured. So I walked right on through the house and walked out front. That's pretty straight right there. Now the whole stem comes out. So I walked right through there and walked on over, across the alley to Donnie's. And knocked on the door, and he came out, and I said, "Hey, Donnie, what's up with the bicycle?" And he proceeded to explain to me that Kyle, his son, had gotten a bicycle the weekend before and really loved that bicycle. It was, I guess, I don't know what they called them today. Back then, they called them BMX bikes. They were boys' bikes with a little bigger tires than normal. Had the seat on them. It was just a little more rugged than a regular boy's bicycle seat. And when you rode it, the crossbar on it was down just a little bit lower than normal, so so the boys could ride it without a lot of problems. And had a little bit heavier tubing in it. But anyway, it was a nice little bike. And his son, who was I think about 7, 8 maybe at the time, couldn't have been more than 9. Anyway, he was riding it along, and the chain came off of it. We put some air in that tire, find it's pretty safe to put air in them. If you have a lock-on lever like this, and then you can just regulate them through the tank. The tire's supposed to hold 40 pounds, I think. Yeah, 40 psi. And this tank here has 50 in it, so probably isn't enough to really explode the tire if I overfill it. As long as it's still taking a little bit of air, I ain't too worried about it. And we're up to 25 right now. But at any rate, Kyle's been riding that bicycle long the chain come off of it. So he said, I worked on it all I could, but I just couldn't get that chain back on there. And I said, I'll tell you what, Donnie, how about if we just go put the fix on it? He said, okay. All right, let's see where that baby's at now. On the button, 40 pounds. Okay. Cap that off. Now, I'm going to set that tire true while we're at it. And the best way to true one is to push it as deep as you can in the forks on the front tire. You got these little latch things that lock it in. One on each side. And it's pretty apparent that someone did not get that fender on because it's pushing against the tire. Let me go ahead and snug him down. I'll get back to you after I get these snugged down. Ah, did you see that? Had a blowout, see right here? Huh. Well, that didn't work out well. Let me do that all over again. Good thing I didn't keep pumping air into it, huh? Might have gone boom. Perfect. Okay. No blowouts. Tire's running pretty true. Need to screw it down tight before I check it for sure. I may need to adjust the spokes. It may have a little bit of a wobble in it. Well, Donnie and I walked over to the house over there, and I didn't have to run after tools because he got my little emergency toolbox and he had them strung all over the yard. Well, not all over, but I mean, let's say they were strewn about somewhat. And I commenced to starting with it. And I told him, I said, okay, Donnie, why don't we start with the handlebars? We'll put the handlebars, get them tightened up so we can set the bicycle down on them. And I said, then we'll get started on that seat. So I showed him how it was that you put the handlebars on. I told him not to tighten them up totally, because we were going to need to do some adjusting on them and get them so that they were pointing in the right direction. You know how it works with handlebars. And so I got him up on there and he ran the wrench. Set the bicycle to the side just a little. See, I want it this way, so this one's got to come up and this one's got to go down. Yeah, that'll do her. It's pretty straight in the front. And it's off a little in the front. Let me see what I can do about that. Of course, you know, on the fender, the only place that it really have to worry about too much water is at the back where your pant legs are. The whole purpose of them. But it is nice to have them aligned at the front anyway. Told Donnie, I said, Donnie, how about if you put that seat on? He said, okay. And he reached for the slip jaw pliers. And I said, Donnie, why don't you use a wrench? And he said, well, I didn't know which wrench it was. And I said, well, you use the one that fits it. He said, yeah, I looked at him and I couldn't see which one was going to fit it. And I said, well, I think it's probably going to be a 9/16 inch wrench. Why don't you grab that one down there? And he reached right down and he grabbed a 7/16 inch wrench. And I said, Donnie, that 7/16 is going to be too small. 9/16 is bigger than a 7/16. And he said, well, that's what always gets me confused. Because a half cup is larger than a third cup. And now you're telling me that a 9/16 is bigger than a 7/16. And I said, yeah, Donnie, that's the way it is with fractions. If you don't use them every day, they're mighty confusing. So at any rate, he took that 9/16 inch wrench, kind of halfway tightened that seat on. And I said, don't tighten it all the way. We flipped the bicycle over. And yeah, that tire is leaning. I've got to make a slight adjustment here. Turn that bicycle over. Set it down just like this is right now, with the seat on the ground and handlebars on the ground. And start working on the front wheel. And Donnie said, how do you know the wheel's not on backwards? Told him, I said, well, there's a secret to that. And he said, well, what is it? And I said, well, the secret is that backwards and frontwards don't matter on a bicycle. Front tire can go on there one way or the other. In fact, if you have a bicycle that has brakes on it, you can reverse that tire and get a little more tread wear out of it. So we commenced putting that tire on. Okay, well, got the tire back straight in the stem straight in the tire. Got the tire straight in the fenders. Got about 3/8 inch there and about 3/8 inch there. Front of it's off just maybe 1/8 of an inch more on one side than it is the other, but I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to align it with the tire and not with the fender. So then I picked up that rear wheel and I handed it to him. And I said, "Here, Donnie, put that on." And he had it backwards. And I told him, I said, "Donnie, see that little clip over there on that side there?" He said, "Yeah, I see that." And I said, "Well, that's where the brake goes." And he said, "Oh, this is the brake?" And he reached over and he grabbed hold of the coaster brake lever there. And I said, "Yeah, it goes on the other side." So he turned it around. He stuck it down into the slot. And he said, and I said, "Donnie, go ahead and hand tighten those nuts up on the outside of that tire." So he hand tightens them. And I said, "Well, you may need to snug them a little more." And he reached down there and he grabbed them slip jaw pliers again. And I said, "Donnie, we have a wrench for that." And I said, "The same wrench that you used on that seat's going to fit on them." And he said, "I need that 7/16 again?" And I said, "Yeah, maybe just go ahead and grab the 9/16." So he did. And I said, "How'd you get this apart anyway?" He said, "Well, all I needed was a pair of pliers and a screwdriver." That rolls pretty true. It's pretty close with the fender. Might be off just a little bit. The brake lever is pretty secure. Chain, plenty tight. See if it makes noise. Then find out where that hitch is. Tire runs pretty true, pretty easy. I think, oh, there it is. Let me push it over on there. Let's see what happens now. Chain's riding out just a little bit. Is it riding out the front or the back? Yeah, it's riding out the front. Okay, so that chain's probably over snugged. I'm going to loosen it up just a little bit and give it some slack. Not much, because that chain is tight as a drum on there. So Donnie commenced to tightening on that nut just a little bit, and I told him that yeah, we got the torque on that. Oh, man. Oh, yep, it was plenty tight enough. That wasn't going anywhere. Let me see if that's going to be enough to... Oftentimes you can loosen the outboard side. Oh yeah, I put it right back in the center. Much better. All right. Oh yeah, even lined it up on the fender a lot better. Okay, so check the air on that. So anyway, Donnie put a little snug on there, and I showed him that how to get that chain started, and it was kind of difficult when the bicycle's right side up, and you're better off if you're doing it upside down, because then you can grab a hold of this part right here and roll it right down onto the... But he figured it out. Let's see where we're at here. 40 pounds. Okay. So anyway, we got that chain on there. I showed him how to center up the wheel and get it all adjusted and get it snug so it wouldn't come loose. And we flipped that bike over. Appears as if that tire is pretty straight in line with those handlebars now. Just almost exactly right on center. I don't think I'm going to do any adjusting on that, although I may loosen them up and let this swing down just a little bit here. I don't know. It's off of parallel a little bit. Well, I tell you what, I'll wait till son-in-law gets here and see if he likes them up like that or not. Same way with the seat. The seat's pretty close to straight down the frame. It's off maybe just a touch to the right. Not much. I think I'll save those final adjustments and get that seat height for him and the handlebar angle. I think I'll wait till we give it to him and then make those adjustments. I'm gonna lube the chain, and that'll probably be it for now. But to finish up with Donnie. So we got the bike put together, got the chain all adjusted the seat, got the handlebars in there, got them set where we wanted them. And as we're putting up the tools, curiosity just got in the better of me. I just had to ask him. I said, Donnie, how come to fix that chain you found it necessary to remove the handlebars and the seat and the front tire and the rear tire? How come you had to take all them off? He said, well, look how big my hands are. He held his big old stubby hands up like this and looked at him and he says, I couldn't get my hands down in there to put that chain back on. As usual, it gave me an answer, okay? Not one I fully understood, but an answer nonetheless. One I could live with. But most of all, Donnie got his son's bike fixed and maintained his self-esteem and walked out of there a hero. And me, put my tools back up, went in, dinner was ready. Appreciate you taking time to listen. And next time you need a bicycle fixed, I ain't your guy. Today's the day. Son-in-law's coming back from his trip. Yesterday was his birthday. I think I got the bike ready, but I haven't really given it a test drive. So make sure it's right. Let's go ahead and take this thing out for a test drive. Well, I still hear a little bit of a tick in that chain when I'm pedaling. Hear it? Hear it? Tick, tick. I think what I'll do is I'll go back and take a look. It seemed as I was riding it that the noise got a little better on that bike. Don't know exactly why. I expect the chain stretched a little bit, but I noticed that it still rides over on the edge of the sprocket. See there? It's at the front edge of the sprocket there, and about the center back here. I don't know if this picks it up, but you'll notice it's about in the center here, and over here it's right at the inside edge. It means that wheel's cocked, and that's what's making the noise. It's also probably what's contributing to that whirring sound. I don't know. It'll ride like that. I don't know how long it'll last like that, but it'll ride like that. But I have to ask myself, what would Neil do? He wouldn't dig it, he wouldn't drive it, but I'm pretty sure he would DIY it. So I'm gonna start in just like he would. I'm gonna get a video camera on that, and I'm gonna check to see just exactly how that rides and make sure that my assessment is correct, and then get it right. I'm gonna DIY it and make it right. About right there ought to do it. That's got it riding in the middle. I think that may do it. Let's go for one more test ride. Okay, I think that's gonna do it. I'm gonna try to clean some of that road marks off them tires. Park it over there in behind some other stuff so he doesn't see it. He should be coming home here in just about another hour. See what he thinks.
Hey girls.
Close your eyes, close your eyes.
Close my eyes again. Okay. I can't see with it closed. Okay, here.
No.
You have to find
it.
Girl.
the treasure hunt.
It's another black dog. Yeah. Surely it's not a scoop. Ooh, is this my? You got me a bike?
Yeah. We got you a bike. All of us.
Okay, let's move some stuff out of the way.
Holy, you know, I didn't even see that coming.
I know.
I saw the water in the tank sitting here. Holy smoke.
There you go.
And it is really comfortable.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Oh yeah. Look, oh, it has a carrier on the back too.
Cell phone holder, cup holder,
Oh, yeah.
basket.
That's good. Well, of course, they put it together, right? Oh, this is a nice one, baby. Well, everybody, this is nice.
Seat is way too low for you,
Yeah.
but it's
Looks
easy
right.
enough to adjust it. If you want
It's
to
not-
stand up, I'll adjust it
it's
for you. Just
not
stand
too
up on your
low.
tiptoes on the seat.
Well,
Stand up on your tiptoes on the seat.
Okay.
hold on. I think it
Go
was
ahead and
just
move
right.
back on the seat.
It's yours.
Right about.
Dad likes you riding really
Start,
high.
start right there.
That's
Now
too
get up on the
high.
seat.
Can
Put
we
your
go
feet
out?
there. There you go.
Like right
Is that about
before-
right? Feel about
Soft.
right?
Feels good.
Got you. Okay.
It's too high.
We'll do some adjustment if we have to.
Well,
Daddy,
Right,
can we go?
started.
Can we go, Daddy?
Where are we going?
You gotta go try it out.
No, we need to eat
you doesn't have
cake
shoes.
first.
It's still thawing out.
Mom, please.
What you told?
What
What
you
you
doing?
told?
Well,
Have
I
your shoes on.
Let's go try this thing out.
If you have the time, I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave a comment and poke that like button.